easy and maybe slide into it small this morning. I don't know. But yes, we're just going to run through the headlines this morning. But first, how are you? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. How was your weekend? Was it a long weekend? Was it a short weekend? Was it a restful weekend? I'm hoping it was that for you. Any which way, today's a new day to be grateful. Today's a new day to go at it again. So we're just going to go at it. Right about now, we obviously have conversations with our analyst. We're waiting for him to join us online. And once he does that, we will get the ball rolling. As always, you know that we are live on YouTube at WFM 917. And you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.917.com. Okay, now that that is out of the way, few housekeeping rules. You already know that when you call, actually, our Daily News Review family are very, very, very well behaved. I must say, very, very respectful, very peaceful, no insults here and there. We good, we good, we good. And that's what we like to see. But just in case it's somebody new who's listening to us this morning, please, when you call in, make sure that your comments are not divisive. Make sure that they are, peaceful, respectful, and all of that. No insults, please. No insult at all. And when the phone lines are open, you can call in. You already know that you can start sending text messages as soon as we start running through the headlines on 0703 or 703-1756-537. Sometimes the number used to do me. Do you know how many numbers are in my head right now? But yeah, that's it for now. You already know that I do not do this alone. I'm here with the Gillette. If you see how Rose is looking this morning, she's looking so fine. So fine, so fine. Good morning, girls. How are you?
Good morning for me. I'm good. How's your weekend?
My weekend. I actually had a great weekend. I enjoyed my weekend.
That's why I was looking for you on phone. I did not see you.
Yeah. No, in the morning I did what are you grateful for.
Mm,
After that, that was it.
you just
Like
off.
I just so I didn't see your message until like I'd seen your message, but I was driving. I had a good weekend. And right now my children are not around. They're now I'm doing their uncles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're spending time with their cousins. So that's really good. My brother was asking me yesterday. He said he's been calling me. I said, why? I said, I don't pick up calls when my children are not with me. Who whenever they go somewhere, I'm not joking. I don't call them. Me. I don't call them.
Anyway, that's independence though. Just give them
The,
that.
whether they care, whether they are looking for me, I don't pick up their calls. Go when you come back, you come and miss me because the evil you have done. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
The evil you have done is enough. But yeah, let's get into it. Rose is here, so we're just going to run through the headlines before Emmanuel joins us this morning. Starting off with the Punch newspaper, we have 2027 battle lines. APC may scrap consensus plan in flashpoint states. So apparently there's is it division, a little bit of division, contention, rivalry happening in APC. Everything 2027 we are going to see it. Next up we have
Mm.
petrol price drop in doubt after Hormuz disruption rose. I went to buy fuel on Saturday on my way back home on Saturday. So I looked at the fuel pump. I said, let me buy fuel. Now, when I buy 20K fuel normally, I know where they reach. It go carry me. This gauge did not move. I had to call my husband. I said, babe, please help me. He was like, what did you say? How much did you buy? I said 20K. And this is me that's been claiming that I don't have money. So I was like, crap, this guy now knows I have money. But the gauge did not move because we're buying fuel at almost twice what we used to buy
Right.
before. And they're saying that so there was a vessel that went to the passage of Hormuz and Iran shut it down. So
Mm.
yeah, God will
And
help
that was
us.
just, I think, about 18 hours after they opened it. So Iran came back and said, you know what? Nah, no do. Now we
It
get
will
them.
be.
So I mean, anyway, hopefully it gets easier. Hopefully. Again, not some people say easier from where to where, how now. But then hopefully it gets easier. On the Guardian newspaper, election data at risk as hackers hold government agencies and banks to ransom. Hmm. All right.
I don't
I,
believe this thing. God forgive
I,
me,
you,
because I feel
Kasa,
like
maybe
it's
short of
they're
what?
saying it. They're saying it to prepare us for what's gonna. They're not saying by 2027. Oh, they were hackers, so they don't. No, I don't. It
For
might
the
be true, but
banks, yeah. For the banks, yes. But election data, hackers. I know over the weekend, there's this lady I follow on social media, and she breaks down some of the happenings, in English and just makes it a joke, all of that. And she was saying something about hackers too, getting into a party. I think I can't remember the agency she called. So if this is really true, then I think it's at this period that you have people who are into cybersecurity making their money.
Absolutely.
All right. So Konkoso loses hold in NNPP as court affirms Abiya's leadership in Kano. Konkoso has left NNPP. I mean,
There's
oh girl.
yeah.
All these people, they should choose one. Let us know what we are doing. At the end of the day, next year will show.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we move to this day where it says article ADC remains Nigeria's only opposition force ready to challenge, defeat APC in 2027. Okay. Next up, we have Makinde to name preferred governorship candidate in May. Awaits Supreme Court ruling on PDP. Those are the headlines from the This Day newspaper.
All right, let's head on to the next one. And the next one we have after this day is Daily Trust. El-Rufai raises alarm over fresh plot against him. El-Rufai, how far? How far? Another one says you can't dictate to journalists. Amnesty tackles NBC. Did you see that?
What? We're going to talk about it. I read it. Yeah.
Yes, I was just telling my husband, come and say, come and say. It's like, come and say.
Yeah.
And I saw yesterday, I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Let's head on to the Vanguard.
Yeah. In the Vanguard, we have eight rescued Benue kidnapped victims confirmed as UTME candidates. And we're glad about that because, we were so worried last week. So 8 of them have been rescued. I think we might get there maybe today, depending on how far we talk. And I think where I was rolling my eyes was that apparently said the governor received them at the government house. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Anyway, reschedule exams for kidnapped UTME candidate, says Aliyah. He urges JAMB. And I like this one because, you cannot lose on both ways. So, yeah.
And they just give them free marks because the shaggy way they don't go see for them. Just give them like
they were drinking dirty
250.
water.
Don't give them 250.
The teacher was.
In fact, you should even maybe sponsor
education,
their
right?
education. Give them scholarship to get into the university.
I like that.
Choice.
I like that.
So come and write jam. They're not write jam now. God forbid they fail on now.
I like that.
Okay. So heading on to Premium Times, NBC threatens sanctions over declining standards in news, political broadcasting. This, I don't know. It sounds one kind. But hey, teachers in Abuja begin indefinite strike on Monday. Honorable Minister, sir. What is going on?
Honorable Minister is busy determining the next governor in Rivers State. He's too busy. He's too busy.
Honorable Minister, Wiki.
He's too busy. Oh. Anyway, in the Nation newspaper, we have JAM releases results of 1.8 million UTME candidates. I was surprised because I have a team member in church, my HOD actually. She was telling, I checked in on her for her son who was writing JAM, and then at rehearsal on Saturday, she won out and came back and said, "Oh, her son passed," and I was so happy for her. I think he got 284, I 294.
A lot of people passed, though.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Last year we were here, we were dragging them.
We were dragging
them because of all of the issues.
So we're glad about that, and so the results came immediately.
Yeah,
they didn't have to wait, so that was good.
My aunt who was making my hair yesterday, she was saying that it's like 20 people pass this jam. I hope that next year now when my son now wants to write will not come and start hearing stories. That she feels like this year is like compensating for all of the issues of last year.
My sister,
next year now they will not come back to their real self and want to show their children.
God, I beg.
Now
Nigeria. Okay. Next up, we have. I think that's the Nation, isn't it? No, we've done okay on the Nation still. Consensus candidates Rivers awaits Wike's Rainbow Coalition. Let's just keep it moving.
Only rainbow. There's gonna be sunset. All right, let's head on to the cable. Ex-Kano Governor Shekaro resigns from PDP, joins APC. Shekaro, okay. JAM dismisses refund demands over charges for delayed UTMA result checks. All right, so that's that on the cable.
Moving on to the Daily Post, we have just residents express frustration as cutthroat rent worsens living conditions.
Let's say this don't turn to one plague where they do every corner of this country. I was going through streets of social media yesterday, and then I saw so someone was advertising I think one real estate company like advertising some houses for rent. It's like Kaduna, and I'm seeing 1.2.
That's not how much it used to be.
For,
Normally.
when I was in Kaduna, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, yeah, and we were paying how much? When we got married, I started paying like 230 for 2-bedroom. Small also they increased 250, and before we left Kaduna, I think they started talking about 280 or thereabouts. So how did we get from that 280? How did we get from that 280 to 1 point? I'm just confused. How did we get from in fact now that 280, 300, 400 if just for one room as it is right now?
Yeah.
And then they'll now be telling you, oh, POP all over, tiles all over. Like, is that not what a normal house should come with, for crying out loud? If you want to build, will you go and build substandard because you don't want to put a high price to it? We know that cost of things are, there. Cement is doing its own.
Yeah.
Tiles could be doing its own. Fittings could actually be doing its own. Woods could be doing its own. But let's have compassion on ourselves. At least let's be compassionate towards each other. Because you be landlord today, don't mean say tomorrow you know go rent house. Anything if you happen, or your children if you go rent house, they feel fat.
Okay. Still on the Daily Post, we have Army arrest over 20 suspected terrorists in nationwide operation.
All right, this is good. But then again, going back to this house issue, it just feels like, of recent, because a lot of people are going into real estate. It just feels like those ones now, before it was just normal agents you will see. But now, the agents that you get to see are the ones where go even dress, look fine, enter car, where even pass person where they find the house to rent. Do you understand? So it's like they have now become more expensive, the agents themselves. So they see them with some kind of fancy names. I don't know whether it's all this aesthetic.
I'm just laughing.
It's all this aesthetic making the house expensive. Might not even, maybe if you know, people worry them because I give me my own. But them now,
oh yeah,
let's know what we're doing now.
Okay, Tribune, please.
on the Tribune, people making it. Let it go now. Now you say we could move on. No, now you see hold on for mind. Okay, on the Tribune, Lagos LGA donates 6 transformers to EKDC. Okay, local government. Oh, okay, that's good. Another one says NDLEA intercepts cocaine and so on, and arrest fashion designer and others. Wow.
Lastly, in the headlines this morning, we have pen pushing. Fraudster impersonates Lagos State House of Assembly Speaker to defraud pen pushing platform member. Not funny, but okay. Lastly, on the pen pushing newspaper, Shegun Showumi declares interest in Ogun State governorship race, silent on political party. Those are the headlines this morning.
All right, just before you head on,
go ahead.
Pen Pushing,
yes,
the new website is www.penpushing.com.
Right.
So that's where you get to read up.
Oh, that's what Emmanuel was trying to explain to me this morning. I was like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I just saw his message.
Oh, but then the website is actually nice. I went on it and it looked more you could move around it better than the previous one. So yeah, okay. Big ups to Pen Pushing.
That's good then.
Okay, right about now the time is 14 minutes to 8, and this is still Women Radio 91.7 FM. You are tuned to the Daily News Review with myself, Rose, and our analyst is here this morning. You already know that we are live on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com. The phone lines will be open shortly in a few minutes, but you can start sending your messages now to 0703 537. Okay, let us get into it. And this one, it concerns us as journalists. But before then, hi, Emmanuel. Good morning.
Hi, Fumi. Good morning, Rose. Trust you ladies are doing quite well this beautiful Monday morning. And I'm very sure and certain that you ladies are doing quite well. I've seen the laughter and then I've seen the joy. So good morning.
See that we're doing quite well. I don't know how. Where is it coming from? Because I don't get. Don't be fooled by the faces you see. Because
We have to be fine.
we can't look like our problems.
Nope.
Yeah, that's the reality and that's the truth. You can't look like what you're going through. You can't look like the situation you are in. You can't look like the circumstances. You can't look like the state, the roads in the state you are in. And then you can't look like the country you are in because you just have to look good for yourself and for your family.
First of all, I have to say that it's good to see you, Emmanuel. I haven't seen you. I think the last time I saw you on the Daily News Review was
I think it's like 4 weeks now that I've met from you on this platform.
yes,
That's just been myself and Rose sailing through. You
yes.
left us when we needed you the most.
I went to meet man. That's
But that's life. We are good.
we're going to get into it. The first headline this morning is one that concerns us as journalists. So over the weekend, the NBC came up with a couple, is it directives about everything concerning us as broadcasters. When I saw it, I said, okay, no wahala. And some of the things that they said was that, we have to follow the ethics and there were basically some ethical and professional breaches when it comes to news and current affairs and political programming. They said that the way the broadcast platforms are being used, that it's on that like that is being used in ways that undermine their core responsibility, which is to inform the public with accuracy, balance, and professionalism. And they were talking about this in light of 2027 general elections. But then SERAP, Amnesty have come to say, yes, because that's wait, what do you mean? Like, are you trying to gag journalists, or what exactly are you saying that like bold of you to start saying it now, things like that? So Amnesty International faulted them, saying that the move undermined independence of the media and violated international human rights standards. They said that Nigeria's vibrant broadcast media, whose editorial independence enables citizens to speak freely, right, and freely seek, receive, and impart information, is protected under instruments like the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. He urged Nigerian authorities to halt what he described as an unrelenting quest to silence journalists. In fact, they did call upon the president to say, you have to tell them to withdraw this directive ASAP. Sha, sha, sha. That's the heads and shoulders of it. I mean, for me as a journalist, do I think that sometimes the media, which I am part of, does a lot of sensationalism, rage bait? Yeah, rage baiting. Oh yes. Can we find a balance? Oh yes. But in the light of this one, I'm going to allow Emmanuel to take it over. Oh, Rose, do you have something to say about this thing before
No,
we go to Emmanuel?
let's hear from Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel, as an analyst and you sometimes moonlight as a journalist as well
He's been in this space for a long
for a very long time.
Yeah.
What say you? Do you think that do you think the directive from NBC was without bias, or do you think it was with bias? Do you think that Serap and Amnesty are also just being extra? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think over the years I've been careful not to speak about the MBC code because I've been on media platform who have had people come on their platform, speak against a certain individual in government, and they've gotten fined for that. If you look at the history of MBC code, those codes were as a result of military regime in Nigeria that brought about those codes. I think was it during
Mm.
Babangida's regime or something. That was when those codes came into being. And I think if we are to run a democracy, I think we have to do better as a nation. I think you would understand that for about some times now, I've been over and out on, especially media guys, saying they have not held forth as the fourth estate of the realm
Mm.
because they ought to be the conscience of the society, but they failed in that response. Now, when I saw the NBC memo released and some of the codes were pointed out, I only laughed in Spanish because I understand what was happening. See, prior to 2023 election, there's a popular digital platform, electronic media, TV in Nigeria. They were just speaking in favor of a candidate. There was a national television platform in faraway Adamawa State that announced fake election results live on TV. I asked the question, where was NBC? And if NBC were to be sincere, that is just in my own analysis. This is not an opinion of Women Radio. Thank God. I'm not even I'm just
I'm
speaking
screaming.
in my own analysis. And to be honest, because I don't know how to hold back and not say it the way it is. See, the NBC code and the constitution of NBC itself is a problem. How will the president, through the advice of the Minister for Information, appoint someone to head the NBC? Now, if I'm appointed to lead a government agency, I would definitely be in favor of who appointed me because I don't want to lose my job.
Fair.
If you go to Ghana, you see the way their broadcasting commission and everything, they appoint people. It is the body that nominates and puts people there. We need to leave this era where we say we are practicing democracy, but everything seems to be in a centralized system. I look at those codes and I look at about 2-3 journalists and I'm asking, these are the set of people that will fall into this trap. I'm not going to even mention their names. But you can't say a journalist should be free, fair, and then you try to gag a journalist. It's not done that way. I think broadcasting has etiquette, and this is why broadcasters are trained. There are institutions that train broadcasters in this country. And I think those are the institutions that the NBC should be working closely with before broadcasters are put out there. If you are a broadcast journalist or any form of journalism that you practice, now journalism has been bastardized. Permit me to say that because you have every Tom and Harry saying I'm a journalist, and then you ask them, they can't even write a press statement, they can't even write a news report, and they feel like they are journalists. Everybody parading themselves now as press. That is the bastardization of the profession, and I don't blame them because those who are ahead of us, who ought to hold forth, didn't hold forth, all of them turned political. And then everybody starts seeing political journalism as a way of going out there. The unbiased nature is no longer there for us. So when you look at what the NBC has done, I don't think it is quite good because we know we are going into an election year. And I look at some of those codes that they brought out. It is just helping a politician coming on your platform to have a free day. Yes, we all know from the fact that you can't hold an opinion when you are on a show. You have to be unbiased. You have to balance your reportage. And people have been balancing their reportage. But when you look at some of the things we do, for example, if you look at the developing world, and I'm very sure they also watch all this cable TV, they also watch some foreign channels, and they see that there are different styles to this journalism. But my fear and worry is in this part of the world is broadcasting and journalism is a way someone sees it. There has been court rulings and all about this NBC code. But the truth is, we implement the rules, we implement the laws that will feel favor us. We don't implement what is not in our taste. So now to be sincere, I pity media houses. I pity, what was it called? Journalists. because I've had I think in 2017, I have a friend from Ibadan who got suspended from broadcasting based on this NBC You, and just a young chap who was full of energy. I think he got about 6 months suspension
Oh my,
from
with without pay.
Without
no, he can't go on air. So it depends
Oh.
on the station. They banned him from going on air. So, and I think it was later dropped down after 3 months, they allowed him back. So I know what this code and what it does. I've seen media houses being fined. You know what it means to be fined? I've seen media houses being fined. I don't want to speak to some certain things on air, but I have seen people being fined. And when I looked at the reason they are fine, I look at countries that have enjoyed stable democracy, and I'm like, this is not even up to half of what has been done. So you look at it, and I can only feel pity for media houses, because number one, media houses would be so careful nowadays. And when you do journalism or you do media or press at a very careful level, you don't go deep because you are playing safe, and you lose an essence of why we call it the fourth estate of the realm. See, when we say the realm is not the physical, it is the spiritual, if we go that way. But truth is, over the years, the first estate of the realm has not been acting that way itself. They've been acting more like a real estate agent, looking for people to take a self-con apartment up and down and collect their agency fee. So it is just crazy that at this point, where I feel that Nigerians needs to hear undiluted truth. See, if you sit in that, you are in that seat for me, and you have a politician sitting in front of you, he can scatter your head based on propagandas and evading your questions and all. So sometimes you have to push to get things out of their mouth. But now election is coming, just about some a year. Is it up to a year? No, I don't think it's up to a year again to elections.
It's
And
7.5 months now.
yeah,
In the
and we are
first
having this coming up. I
Mhm.
don't think it's a good one. So last few months, I've went hard on media and the fact that they are selective, they are doing selective reportage, and the fact that most media houses are now being owned. Politicians are setting up media houses. Uh, from the SP, they have their own in Abuja. I think AK something is also on what's it called? A digital channel. You have a lot of them setting up. Go and look at the ownership of most media houses and the founders. You will see there are people in the political settings. So that is why it is hard to report the truth. And when I saw the NBC code, I only laugh, and I'm like, it's going to be very hard for Nigerians to get the truth. That's why people will be kidnapped, and then you see a disclaimer saying we've rescued them, and no journalist, I repeat, no media house will go and do investigative reporting, or we go to the union to see whether they've been rescued. You know, when we were growing up, we do joke about a particular media house that it is 2 weeks. Comedians will joke that it's after the incident has happened that you now see their reporter saying about 3 weeks ago, one bandit struck here, and as you can see, we are trying to find people that were. But I think sorry, you asked me about NBC, but I'm speaking to media houses already, because if we are stand right, if we are stand as a unit, if I've not seen journalists fighting each other, you see beef, journalists fighting each other. They say we should not have an opinion, but don't even forget that there is a veteran journalist that we respect so much, that 2023 election came on air and said, I swear to God, someone won the election. That was the day I lost hope in journalism. For a veteran, I swear to God, someone won. That's an opinion. And he's saying it on air, not even off air, on a platform, swearing to God Almighty. So when you see things like that, and then you ask, where was NBC then?
Rose, do you have something to say?
I'm just going back to one of the first things Imanu said, saying that, when you see these things, there is certain set of people that just come to mind. So, and that was the same thing for me. Immediately I saw it yesterday, I was like, these people, they have some people in mind while, bringing this up, and also warning those who intend to follow, in their footstep. Now, I think at the end of the day, you should be able to use the media to your own advantage,
Yeah.
as a political person, as a business person, as whoever you are, in your environment. You should be able to use the media to the best of your to the best of your knowledge or abilities. But when you come back now and you know that the media that people trust or that want to hear from, because if you come to me as a politician, I should be able to scrutinize you. I should be able to bring out everything, that the people want to hear from you as regards to past cases, or in fact your future cases, and whatever it is. So you are not the one to come and tell me that, well, except if you're not the one to come and tell me the kind of questions you ask me, even if you come and pay money that you want to get interviewed or anything like that. So, but all I'm saying is, or rather, what I just wanted to point out is that at the end of the day, it all just looks like there are a lot of, will I say, forces behind it. It doesn't just look like, a clear, innocent, just, code just coming out and giving all of that. It just feels like if we don't do something about this thing, it's going to continue and it's going to get out of hand. And elections are just around the corner, so we need to try as much as possible to clamp down on all of these things. That's just what it looks like. That's just what it looks like. Because I mean, it's not now that this thing started. Even if you're talking about, how journalists get to ask questions and all of that, or how to probe their guests, even if you're talking about that, nobody today starts. So why didn't this come out last year? Why didn't this come out? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it just feels like there's just a lot that has gone on in the background, and they're bringing all of this now to just say, let us use this thing to just keep all of these people quiet, and let us warn them. Because at the end of the day, this is like a warning in disguise. If you say you want to follow the footsteps of this set of, this was this might just be what is going, what will happen to you. So how does that then give you the freedom to walk? How does that then give you the freedom to operate, as someone who is really who is really interested in getting out the truth and the facts from you? Because if you come to me now and tell me that, you want to come and build schools in my environment, I will sit you down and say, okay, you want to build schools in my environment. What brought about the idea? How are you going to fund it? Where is this one going to come from? Who are the workers you are going to use? How many days will it take to do this one? We heard that you did the same project in so place. How did you do that one? Who are the people that worked for you? Who sponsored those ones? And how long? I would definitely ask you all of these questions. But when I'm asking you these questions and you can't provide me answers and you are dodging it, and then after some time, you will now come back, and because you now have, authority, or you have the backing, or you could just come back and tell me that, see, all those kind of questions you're asking me, if you ask them again to any other person, we'll do something to you.
Or the person that you were even asking goes at the back end and does something, you can still. So
And that's because probably the person that, or that's because the body governing us at the end of the day, it's just like in the judiciary.
Yeah.
It's just like in the judiciary. Because last, the judiciary themselves, they will definitely collect their pay from somewhere. Yes, we know that, you should be, you should be the voice of the people, you should give justice and all of that. But it's just how it is. So I just hope that we're able to understand because it all looks very, it looks all light, it looks all simple, but there's a deeper, meaning to all of this. And for CSOs or civil organizations that would come out, and say, I just hope that, they take it through, and not just for the papers. Because a lot of times you get to see, a lot of organizations coming out saying a lot of things as regards some of these kinds of things, and then that's just where it ends. So I'm hoping that we're able to see that there's actually, more to this, and dig deeper to this. Because the way we are going right now, like Emmanuel said, let's not look like our problems, honestly. If not, I don't think anybody will be smiling.
Okay, you're staying to Women Radio 91.7 FM, and this is the Daily News Review program. We are running through um tackling the headlines that have caught our eye. This it might not just send me a message. Let me say it offline. And Emmanuel, this statement you've made, I we said we're gagging ourselves before they come and gag us. Interestingly, I said this thing maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I said it's while we know the ethics of journalism, I know that you shouldn't have an opinion. Do you know how it's like you're cutting the hand of a human being who is currently going through the same thing that the fellow Nigerian is going through? Again, I'm not saying this gives you any right to still air your opinion because your job is your job and that's what you're being paid for. But like I gave the example this morning, I bought fuel at 1,245 naira. And I could not believe that the gauge did not move. Because normally, if my fuel is on quarter tank or below quarter, that's 20K. It don't reach half tank or after half tank. It did not go to half. It didn't even. It just went a little bit above the quarter. And I started looking at that full tank feverishly since that Saturday. I drove yesterday to church. And I was like, God, I beg me, this is no finish. That's where, and I felt, oh my God, because I have not had to buy. I just need my husband to buy. Ever since they increased, they're like, oh yeah, please now let me buy. So having to buy by myself and see that this thing did not move, it was very, very jarring for me. So same thing with the politics that happens in the country. Asking a journalist to say to keep an objective look or whatever on what is going on with politics. That's one. Like you rightly said, a politician comes and you said the politician, Oga, you are giving me a bold-faced lie. And I have to tackle. And sometimes when you're tackling the politicians, sometimes you might see a little bit of your opinion and then you're trying to rephrase to say, how about, or what about you? Sometimes that will happen.
No,
Yeah.
Fumi, you don't, what's it called? When someone sits in front of you, your opinion does not come on that mic. What comes on that mic is facts and data.
Yeah,
For example, I'll give you an example. Charles asked a presidential spokesperson that the president said that if I don't give you light in 4 years' time, don't vote for me for second term. He wanted to deny, but Charles cannot have an opinion. You know what Charles did? They gave the guy a playback of the president himself saying that thing. And then, you know his reply? The president has not come for second time yet. You know what I'm saying? Charles established his point that he said if he doesn't come, if he doesn't give you light, you should not vote for him for second term. So that's what I said, training institutes needs to do better. And then I said a statement that every person wants to be a journalist now without someone that carries phone to record that event will tell you I'm a journalist, a content creator will tell you I'm a journalist.
Content creator.
No, they will tell you I'm a journalist, they'll tell you press, journalist, they will tell you this. So that is the danger of the profession. And the what's it called? The body that ought to regulate, the body that ought to help us, majorly, they are fully government owned.
Yeah.
And no regulator in this aspect that has private players can be fully government owned, because you need different stakeholders at the table to come to a reasoning and a conclusion, so that when things are put into votes, you have a balance. Check other country broadcasting commission setup. I can even use Ghana as an example. Human Rights Commission is there. They have I think, legal association of the country. They have the independent broadcasters. They have everyone seated. So you cannot wake up and then make a authoritative rules or authoritative code and say this cannot happen, because I serve at the pleasure of the president.
Yeah.
Any appointment that is being made, I serve. So we should have a commission, a body that people can actually vote for those who is going to be on that panel. And then they know they serve at the pleasure of the citizens and they owe the citizens their allegiance and duty.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with you. Yeah. Again, you're switching to Women Radio 91.7 FM. Let your messages start rolling in. The number to call and the phone lines are open. The number to call 07000 9117. We have these two messages before we go to the next headline. Ruling party with consensus. APC will always create problems for governors that are not with them. Instead of them Instead for them to contest and gain public trust, they are always looking for ways to hijack power through the back door. They have started their cards in Oyo. Consensus should be scrapped from our politics. Olusegun Ajayi says, thank you so much for your message. Additional Wasiu says, good morning to you in the studio. On insecurity, our leaders in this country are not sincere to be citizens on insecurity. I'm saying this because some of these Boko Haram and other criminals have been arrested in the past. My question, are they not arrested with AK-47 guns or other weapons? Are those weapons, don't they have serial numbers, point of production? Who purchased this AK-47 from the producer? I give kudos to the current Kwara governor for taking his predecessor to court for offer robbery incident where almost 30 people were killed. The question that is begging for answer is who gave these convicted armed robbers the two AK-47s. Nigerians must know where this gun came from, and I hope other governors do the same in order to reduce crime in our society. Thank you so much for your message. Okay, next headline. This one is from the This Day newspaper. As deadline looms, opposition forces consider PRP as backup platform. Emmanuel discussed 20 points. So I'm not getting into this, no. So Emmanuel, yes, please discuss 20 points.
Yeah, not only PRP, there is NDC there. Also, the political actors are looking at. See, this is a game of the country trying not to get into a one-party system. And you know why I laugh so much? The ADC that has been put forth as a vehicle of redemption is being rocked by different crises.
Vehicle of redemption, yeah.
When you look at the kind of crisis rocking the ADC, this week is a very important week when it comes to our judiciary system, because the court will be ruling on the PDP case, the court will be ruling on the ADC case, and we can only hope, because now, before political parties head their primaries, they must submit an updated register of their members. So, peradventure, I want to contest for a post and I'm not on that political party's register. Litigation can start later than I wasn't a party member. So it is dicey for politicians, and that's why you are seeing them trying to align and realign. I think the only major political party that seems to not be engulfed in all this crisis is the ruling party. Some have accused the ruling party of putting fire in all this political party, but I feel like opposition should thrive. But it's not only the core responsibility of the government to make opposition thrive, it's also the responsibility of the opposition to ensure that they survive. And I'm looking at how they are fighting this out. Yes, they dare the consequence and air their convention, which is good. I was expecting that to happen. Now, let's look at what the Supreme Court is going to rule on this week, both for the PDP and also for the ADC. Let's see whether there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But peradventure, there is no light for the ADC, and the court hands over power to
Sorry to
Bala.
interrupt you, Emmanuel. We have a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Madam Rose. Good morning, Mr. Emma.
Good morning.
Thank you. This is good. I'm back. I traveled.
Oh, from you.
I told you, but it came as emergency to travel to the east. Thank God.
Everything is fine. Hope everything went well.
We thank God it's not an issue, because that same road, many people told you they are not able to come back. But thank God for stage, and I thank God I'm alive. Sometimes we say, what is the work of this world? But it's only that we don't think deep. After all our grieving, that's it. And where we are going, we don't know. Why fighting, killing, and sort of thing? because we don't start the future. The only hope we have that we have received Christ. That's the only hope. We should love one another and care for one another and reach out to and do what we can do to make our neighbor happy. That's what Christianity is. That's trying to make. And when we make our neighbor people around us, God also will make us happy. Thank you. And let me I thought a lot, and I believe all you have said. We should do investigative journalism. And I'm pleased with my sister. There are certain trade comforts, almost all of them. I'm looking for a true Nigeria that had the fear of God. Selfless Nigeria will attend that throne. This is time for better. Some of these a lesson. Where is Buhari today? After everything, one day, to be eternal person that day. It will be all our turn. We'll go back and give account to God. We should always do the right thing anywhere we are. For example, what can I do to make Nigeria work? Even the money can get out of marriage. What can I do to make my marriages work? What can I do to make Nigeria work? The betterment of all of us and our children. Example that I've done a little. I speak for my children, and all of you that are you, but I believe you also make it. As long as you make it in Jesus' name. Vision is supposed to be pushing the government to accountable. They are really trying to grab power for what? We are tired of this thing they are doing. They should at least do something that make the opposition do the right thing. Put them accountable and on government. So they be because they are opposition. As long as it's not going to be one party state. We need to do the right thing. That's not what we will not. See how we love how we love one another, right? In Nigeria, we don't love one another. We don't really love ourselves, we love our nation. We should learn to love our Nigeria, love ourselves, to make things better for one another.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. Sorry to have interrupted you, Emmanuel. Please go ahead.
So basically, when you look at these political parties and how the opposition are trying to find their feet, see, when certain members of the opposition dine with the ruling party, this is what happens. I think I've been shouting since last year that PDP will bury itself, They thought they would come alive because see, what kills a political party is not the external politics, it's the internal politics. A political party's death is when it self-implodes from the inside, not from the outside. See, why the ADC seems to be a bit strong at this period, and maybe some leaders of the ruling party are afraid, is the fact that there is no self-destruction yet from inside. I think the only self-destruction they are facing are just some elements that are not strong and don't have a foothold. When after their primaries and a candidate emerges, that is when you would know whether there's going to be self-implosion or they are going to survive. And that is what caused the coma status, the coma nature of the PDP. How will a PDP national leader be serving an APC government? Where have you heard that? How will a PDP national leader be singing on your mandate?
Yeah.
And the deputy party is not there.
That's so interesting that you mentioned this because I saw something today and I screenshotted it because I was going to read it out loud as well. So Wike, they said there's suspense in Rivers State over the proposed coalition expected to produce a consensus governorship candidate for the next year's poll. What struck me was that they said the coalition of both ruling and opposition parties is being spearheaded by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Unlike in other states, no person of no, sorry, I go back again. He said that the coalition of both ruling and opposition parties is being spearheaded by one person. It's never been heard of before.
See, it's not the apart from ADC and what's their name? APC. Do you see any political party that is strong? Which politician wants to contest under PDP? Because you don't even know your what's it called? You don't even know your stand. Why the ADC remains is the fact that despite the court cases and all, people are defecting in mass, especially in the northern part of the country, to the ADC. So that is why the ADC is surviving. But PDP, people are running away from PDP. Sheyi Makinde himself, maybe after the court ruling this week, might run away from PDP because you cannot contest under a political party that is in what is it called, in trouble.
Right.
That has been the problem. That has been the crazy thing we've been dealing with. So when Wike wakes up in Rivers, where is the opposition in Rivers? Is it PDP that he controls? Is it the ADC structure that is under him? It doesn't have anything in controls. So that is the irony of what is happening. So for the leaders of the ADC, I beg your pardon, David Mark and co, they need to find a way to ensure that they survive. Because latest by, I think, in the next 3 weeks, that should be the deadline for the submission of membership register for political parties. So if your name falls under Labour Party, that's where you will contest the election. If your name falls under the dead PDP, that's where you contest the election. So politicians are calculating, they are looking, a politician only wants a platform that will guarantee him victory. And this is what they are doing. And don't see, mark my words, the APC itself will self-implode after their promise. Because some candidates will be anointed while others will not get the anointing. And then the spirit of Judas will enter their hearts. So it's going to be a long ride. But for the opposition, I will just tell them to ensure they fight well to hold the ADC structure. Because the ADC has got that momentum for them. Well, they can say they will move to PRP, which is being headed by Akim Baba Ahmed. But it is going to also be like they are going 2 steps back when the ADC structure has taken over. So I will just urge them to ensure that they find a way to get accelerated hearing for all these cases and move forward. And hopefully, if the Supreme Court deems it fit to rule in their favor, then they are a step ahead. But it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a long journey for opposition, but they need to be united. But my worry is not even whether they go to PRP, whether they go to, what is it called, SDP or anywhere they want to go to. My worry is, are we going to have self-implosion after their party primaries? Because we have about 6 leaders of the opposition that wants the tickets.
Yep.
We have a man who has kept running and he wants to still run.
His name. They cannot gag you.
This is his last shot at running.
That's what he said.
Because I think he's 76. We have a man who says New Nigeria is possible, who was able to convince the Kwakwasia-led movement, and how the obedient movement and the Kwakwasia movement that fought throughout the last election are now best of friends. I don't understand, but that's the rule of politics. No permanent friends, no permanent foes in politics. And then we have a certain man from Rivers who believes he can do better. So you have a whole lot of, and from Obi Granting interview, we saw Atiku Ness, we saw Rotimi Amechi Ness, and Kwankwaso is just chilling. So it is going to be a lot for the opposition when they hold their promise. But I only hope for them that they would not self-destroy, because they have to have the ability to be able to take the result of the promise. If they don't take the result of the promise, the way they see, it's not even APC that will destroy them. They will destroy each other fast. So let's just hope. It doesn't matter the political party they move into. See, it is them being united, because once they are united, it's very hard to break them. And why they are surviving all the storms thrown at them now is because they live in unity. But once the promise are held, would they still be in unity? That is my question. Nobody can kill opposition. Opposition can only kill itself, because internal sabotage is what kills political party faster than external factors.
Wow.
A case study of the PDP.
Wow. Okay, this final message says, welcome to a new week of new hope, not renew hope. Or for me, Rose Emmanuel, may I ask you guys where you can locate the truth in any institution in Nigeria, even in religious institutions? Nigerians have lost their conscience to games. In Nigeria, the church is painting Jesus, who is the truth as a compromiser. Now tell me what is left as truth. We all need spiritual cleansing. That is from Evangelist Shegun Oyedeji. Thank you so much, Evangelist Shegun, for your message. With that being said, we have come to the end of the Daily News Review program this morning. It was so good to, I was going to say, to have Emmanuel back. Well, yeah, we didn't have Emmanuel last week. So yeah, but it was good to see you, online, even though we see each other offline. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming and for
please
shedding light.
find
I did
out
not.
each other offline, please.
What'd you say?
Please define that each other offline. Ayo Bangbala is there, please.
When you say somebody is like tormentor of your soul, that's Emmanuel. I don't tire for you, Rose. Please, what are your final words before we go? We're already out of time.
It's a political era, so we're going to see a lot of things. The one that will shock us, and the one that will just say, "Well, we know." So, but in all of it, we are the ones in the middle of it. So let's know what we're doing. Let's know what we're doing. Sincerely speaking, since last week we've been saying it. Know what you're doing. If you can't find your PVs right now, go and find it.
Yes, please.
Go and under the beds, under anywhere, please go
Wherever
and
you
lift
put it.
everything it is.
Yeah.
Everything, and just find it because you need it. You need it.
Yes. Okay. Join us at 9 o'clock for the news and 9:05 for her lens with Rose. And then, yeah, still stick around with us on Women Reading at 1.7. Again, thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming on the program today. Truly, truly appreciate you. We'll make it a date for next week, Monday. Please come back with this fire as well. We love it. Love, love, love it. Okay, enjoy the rest of the day. My name is Fumi. Many thanks to our producers. This one's not even produced me today. Okay. They want to collect here and I see Rachel. She wants to collect Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving call, Thanksgiving. Okay, Rose. Okay, we'll see each other after the program.